Today, the waxing gibbous moon in Pisces is activating a subtle yet extremely powerful energy, and the spiritually awakened are already feeling the signs. If you are watching this video, it is because you are part of a specific group that the universe is trying to alert. You have leaks of energy, leaks of purpose. You are giving attention, time, and soul to what no longer feeds you spiritually. And if you don't cut it off now, the upcoming cycle will not favor you. This is one of the last warnings before the opening of the next lunar portal. You have 2 days to adjust your field, cut the excess, and follow your intuition. You show up, you work, you give your best, yet money slips through your fingers like water. There's a constant undercurrent of lack, even when the numbers seem to add up. It's not just about income. It's about invisible leaks you haven't fully faced. The gibbous moon in Pisces heightens your emotional perception, nudging you to sense where your energy and resources are quietly draining. Subtle agreements, unspoken guilt, overgiving masked as generosity, they all echo in your financial field. And perhaps your intuition has already whispered this, but now it's time to listen out loud. It's in the extra task you say yes to out of fear of conflict, knowing it exhausts you. It's in the help you offer, not from abundance, but from fear of being rejected. It's in the way you overextend emotionally, not realizing it's robbing your time and creative focus. Pisces teaches that energy is currency, and money will mirror where your energy flows or leaks. This moment isn't about hard budgeting. It's about soft, radical clarity. What you tolerate in silence often costs you the most. Have you noticed how certain people, projects, or habits seem to cost more than they give? Not just financially, but mentally, spiritually, emotionally. The moon in Pisces urges you to observe your unconscious patterns. How often do you spend out of fear? How much do you give away to avoid discomfort? You don't need to earn more to feel secure. You need to stop funding what no longer nourishes you. When you cut energetic cords with love, the material flow begins to follow. This is not about scarcity. It's about sacred recalibration. Money is a mirror of your inner world. If your energy is scattered, your finances reflect that fragmentation. Now is the moment to pause, breathe, and ask, where am I investing my life force without return? Pisces invites deep, intuitive healing, not through logic, but through emotional honesty. If you want financial expansion, first close the spiritual loops that are quietly bleeding your abundance. What ends now makes room for what truly supports your worth. The illusion of control often keeps us bound to cycles that quietly diminish our power. You believe you're being responsible, checking bills, chasing payments, planning for security. But behind the curtain of being practical, there's often an emotional avoidance. The fear of saying no, the guilt of receiving, the pattern of giving more than you have. The gibbous moon in Pisces pierces this illusion, not with judgment, but with compassion. It's time to see what you've been avoiding. And in that revelation, healing begins. Pisces doesn't scream. It whispers through dreams, silences, and subtle discomforts. You've likely noticed a draining dynamic repeating itself. Too much work for too little return. That's not a reflection of your worth, but of unconscious agreements you've kept out of habit or fear. Perhaps you've confused sacrifice with love or effort with value. This lunar phase asks you to detach from what depletes, not to punish, but to honor yourself. Your prosperity begins where your self-abandonment ends. When your boundaries are soft, your money follows the same rhythm, flowing out faster than it arrives. This isn't about hoarding or fear-based saving. It's about presence, about owning where your sacred labor is going. You don't have to track every cent to feel safe, but you do have to trust your intuition to say, this is enough, I cannot give here anymore. Your energy is your most precious currency. When you honor it, material abundance starts aligning, naturally, steadily, soulfully. The path ahead isn't paved with budgets alone, it's paved with integrity, with saying yes only to what sustains you. with leaving spaces where your worth isn't mirrored. Pisces reminds us that abundance is first an internal alignment, not an external number. As this moon waxes, you're invited to step into a more fluid, intuitive relationship with your resources. What you release now, be it a habit, person, or outdated belief, becomes an act of devotion to your true self. And in that devotion, everything begins to grow. You've been taught to hustle, to chase, to fill every minute with action, assuming that more effort means more reward. But lately, even with all your pushing, something feels off. You're tired, unfulfilled, and disconnected from the flow. The Gibbous Moon in Pisces doesn't ask for more. It asks for alignment. Sometimes, what appears as lack isn't about money. It's about meaning. And when the soul feels off course, the universe pauses the rewards until you find your center again. You believed your struggle came from scarcity, but it may stem from directionlessness. Are you truly moving towards something that lights you up, or just trying not to fall behind? This lunar energy invites you to slow down, soften, and feel where your path diverged from your purpose. Pisces doesn't speak through logic, it speaks through longing. And your longing knows. No amount of strategy can replace inner clarity. Now is the time to ask deeper questions, not about what pays more, but what fulfills more. If your energy is fragmented, your results will be too. Chasing opportunities that aren't yours will always lead to exhaustion. Pisces teaches that prosperity is magnetic. It arrives when your field is clear, open, and rooted in truth. Alignment doesn't mean perfection, it means resonance. It means trusting that your unique essence is the very thing that opens doors. Stop bending into spaces that don't feel right. What's truly yours will meet you when you return to who you are. This is your permission to pause, not to quit, but to realign. Let this moment be a course correction, not a collapse. Look not at how much you're earning, but how much you're compromising to earn. Real abundance starts with emotional coherence, being where your soul feels safe, inspired, and seen. Under this lunar influence, even small changes in direction can unlock powerful flow. Trust what pulls at your heart. It knows where the resources are waiting. At some point, you were led to believe that doing more would fill the emptiness. So you did. You filled your schedule, said yes to every opportunity, poured energy into every task. But Pisces' energy isn't impressed by how much you do. It cares about how aligned you are while doing it. The Gibbous Moon now whispers, are you moving because you're called, or because you're afraid of standing still? Busyness without direction is a slow leak of your soul's currency. This lunar transit is not about shame or blame. It's about awakening. It illuminates the hidden space between effort and essence, where too many have lost their way. You're not failing. You're simply out of sync. When you say yes to everything, you dilute the power of your yes to the right thing. The most courageous act now may be to pause, listen, and redirect. Let your effort be sacred again, not scattered, but guided. Pisces invites a deeper economy, one where time, energy, and money all flow from intuition, not fear. If your bank account feels stuck, ask, where have I betrayed my inner compass to keep up? The prosperity you're chasing may be blocked by patterns that aren't even yours. This isn't about giving up on dreams. It's about making sure they're truly yours to begin with. Let go of the roles you perform and reclaim the vision that moves you. This moon phase opens a portal to recalibration. It doesn't require you to have every answer, only the willingness to feel your way forward. Start small, a decision from truth, a no that protects your energy, a yes that finally feels right. The universe meets clarity with provision. Your next breakthrough won't come through force, it will come through alignment. Trust that what's meant for you is waiting in the direction your soul has always longed to go. You speak of prosperity, but your actions still echo scarcity. Deep down, decisions are driven not by vision, but by fear of lack, fear of loss, fear of not being enough. The gibbous moon in Pisces doesn't just shine light, it dissolves illusion. And now, it dissolves the illusion that more effort equals more abundance. True prosperity flows from emotional alignment. When your inner world is in survival mode, the outer world reflects it. This is a spiritual confrontation disguised as a financial one. You may be earning, saving, even investing, but if your choices are based on anxiety, the energy of contraction remains. Pisces whispers, what if faith, not fear, became your default? What if trust became your currency? The path of soulful abundance doesn't ask for reckless risk. It asks for devotion to your deeper truth. Every financial choice holds a frequency. What are yours vibrating? Perhaps you learn to associate money with struggle, control, or sacrifice. Now, you're being invited to rewrite that script. What if you could move from reaction to creation? This moon phase calls forth the part of you that sees beyond logic. It doesn't ignore reality, it expands it. You're not meant to just survive paycheck to paycheck. You're meant to thrive from soul-aligned action. But first, you must stop feeding the patterns that keep you small. There is no shame in what you feared. There is only a fork in the road now. You can continue to act from doubt, or pause, breathe, and make a new kind of choice. The kind that says, I am ready to receive, not just strive. The kind that honors your gifts instead of questioning your worth. Let the intuition of Pisces reroute your relationship with money, not by chasing more, but by embodying the energy that attracts it. It's easy to say you want prosperity, but if the foundation of your financial life is fear, every decision will carry the weight of doubt. You may accept clients out of desperation, underprice your worth, or chase opportunities that deplete you. Pisces calls you to lead not with urgency, but with intuitive clarity. Money is not the problem, your energy around it is. It's time to move from survival energy to spiritual sovereignty. When your heart says yes, but your body tightens in panic, that's a sign. You're not trusting the intelligence that lives beyond logic. Prosperity isn't just numbers, it's a state of inner permission. You have to allow yourself to receive. You have to stop apologizing for wanting more. This lunar phase wants you to stop using fear as your financial advisor and start trusting the sacred intelligence of your desires. Pisces brings a compassionate mirror. Where are you betraying yourself financially just to feel safe? Staying in jobs that drain you? Avoiding your calling because it feels uncertain? Overgiving because guilt whispers louder than boundaries? The truth is, any action taken from fear builds shaky ground. You're not here to build shaky. You're here to build sacred, sustainable, soul-driven wealth, and that begins inside. You don't have to be fearless. You just have to stop letting fear vote. Let this moon illuminate a new blueprint, one built on peace, presence, and purpose. Spend, invest, create, and pause, only when it feels aligned. When you choose from inner truth, even a small step becomes magnetic. You don't need to control every outcome. You need to embody the frequency of trust, and then let abundance follow your lead. You've made mistakes with money. Maybe you overspent, ignored bills, or trusted someone who didn't honor your effort. The shame still lingers, quiet but heavy. But this phase isn't about punishing yourself. It's about reclaiming your agency. Pisces energy is deeply forgiving, and it's offering you a reset. What you've done is not who you are. It's just part of your journey toward wisdom. Forgiveness is a form of wealth, not just for others, but for yourself. Financial healing starts when you stop identifying with your past missteps and start choosing differently. You don't need to have it all together to begin. You only need to be honest about what's not working and brave enough to change it. That honesty becomes your compass. That bravery becomes your capital. Rebuilding isn't glamorous, but it is sacred. Canceling old subscriptions, renegotiating terms, deleting shopping apps, it all counts. Each small choice is a declaration. I'm worth stability. You're not starting from scratch. You're starting with experience. Pisces reminds you that healing is not linear, but intuitive. And right now, your intuition knows exactly where to begin. Let go of the fantasy that one big win will fix everything. This is about sustainability, not shortcuts. Reorganize. Simplify. Ask for support. Breathe. Even the smallest financial win is a spiritual breakthrough when it's rooted in clarity. You are not behind. You are being invited back to your power, one conscious decision at a time. Sometimes financial imbalance isn't about money, it's about energy. You may be overgiving in relationships, saying yes when you mean no, or avoiding the conversations that could set you free. These emotional leakages often translate into material ones. The Pisces moon doesn't just ask you to budget. It asks you to reclaim your boundaries. Healing your finances may start by protecting your peace. You don't need to carry everyone. You don't need to rescue, overcompensate, or prove your worth through generosity. Real abundance comes when you give from overflow, not depletion. And if you've been spending as a way to cope or avoid, this is the moment to notice without shame. You are not bad with money. You've just been surviving with the tools you had. Now, new tools are calling. Make financial decisions from your future self, not your frightened self. Who are you becoming? What kind of life do you truly want to fund? Pisces helps you dream, but also dissolve illusions, fears, and patterns that no longer serve you. You can release what no longer aligns, without drama. A shift this gentle can change everything. This is your quiet revolution, a sacred reckoning. No spreadsheets required, just your presence, your self-trust, your willingness to course correct. Let this moment be your line in the sand, from chaos to clarity, from guilt to grace. You don't have to master it all today, but you can begin with one conscious choice that honors who you're ready to become. Your financial reality is a mirror of your energetic field. If you constantly feel drained by people, by work, by internal chaos, it's no surprise that money feels equally unstable. Pisces invites you to look beyond numbers and into vibration. What are you allowing in your space that doesn't honor your peace? Abundance thrives where energy is protected. Anything that depletes you diminishes your financial flow too. You may be holding on to things that feel normal, yet they cost you more than they give. A toxic client, a draining friendship, an emotional wound left untreated. These hidden currents pull your focus, time, and trust. And as they do, they pull money with them. It's not just about earning more. It's about keeping what aligns with your integrity and soul. Start with a gentle scan. Where do you leave yourself behind daily? Where does your spirit whisper no while your mouth says yes? Pisces doesn't push, it reveals. It shows you the small breaches in your field that, over time, flood your bank account with scarcity. This isn't punishment. It's a wake-up call to reclaim what's yours. Your time, your worth, your center. You don't need a miracle. You need energetic hygiene. Just like you wouldn't let your faucet leak endlessly, you must now seal the emotional and spiritual leaks that erode your abundance. Call your power back. End that subscription, that conversation, that pattern. Every time you honor your energy, you send a message to the universe. I am ready for more. And it listens. Not all financial blockages start in the wallet. Many start in the soul. When you're emotionally entangled in guilt, shame, or obligation, your energy becomes scattered. That scattering leaks into your relationship with money. You overgive. You overextend. You keep saying yes to things that exhaust you, believing it's what you're supposed to do. But the cost is high, energetically and financially. Pisces energy doesn't judge you for these patterns. It helps you see them. It shows you where generosity has become self-neglect, where compassion became overfunctioning, where kindness turned into depletion. True abundance doesn't require you to betray yourself. It asks you to be so deeply aligned that giving flows from overflow, not from emptiness or fear. To shift this, you must ask the questions you've been avoiding. What am I still funding with my life force that no longer deserves my energy? What would happen if I cut the cord to these silent leaks? Pisces guides you towards sacred clarity, not a harsh purge, but a wise recalibration. Because your money will never feel whole if you feel fragmented. Reclaiming your energetic boundaries is not selfish, it's sacred accounting. The moment you say, I choose peace over pleasing, you start closing the drain. When you stop funding dysfunction, you start investing in alignment. That's when the flow returns, stronger, purer, guided. Pisces reminds you, prosperity is not just about earning more. It's about becoming a clear vessel for everything you were meant to receive. Abundance is not just a number in your account. It's a reflection of how whole your energy is. When you are constantly entangled in distractions, lingering resentments, or unresolved emotional cords, your financial life mirrors that chaos. Pisces, in its silent depth, invites you to examine where you've been leaking power. Every yes said from guilt, every decision made from fear. These are holes in your financial field. This lunation is a spiritual intervention. It whispers truths your logic may resist, that protecting your energy is the first act of prosperity, that you cannot pour into your future while dragging the debris of the past. Pisces guides you inward, not to escape, but to cleanse, to pause, to realize that real wealth begins when your spirit feels light, free, and unburdened. No external gain will anchor you if your energy is adrift. Some things are draining you not because they're too big, but because they're not yours to carry. Pisces helps you recognize the silent contracts you've signed with people, habits, and roles that no longer fit. This is not abandonment, it's alignment. To close the energetic faucet, you must release what no longer resonates. The moment you do, the flow you've been chasing starts to return, naturally, abundantly, on purpose. So take this as an invitation to audit your field with honesty and grace. Where are you overextending and why? What are you still emotionally invested in that offers no return? Your intuition knows the answers. Let it guide you to seal what's leaking, cut what's draining, and bless what's done. Only then will you become the channel through which your destined prosperity can finally pour.